Production.
This is Phase Ed Music.
Yes. What's going on, family? What's going on, guys? Yes, family. What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's session with your boy Abel. Super excited to be here with you guys all today, because we're back, baby. I feel like I haven't done an Asian session stream with you guys in quite some time. All right, I think it's been about a week or two since I've actually been on here with you guys. All of last week, I did end up taking last week off of the Asian session streams, just because I had a lot of things to do, right? Just trying to catch up on a lot of stuff that we need to get finalized, especially leading up into the launch of the Profit Society family, and just finalizing my actual full-out course as well. You know, my Wealthy Visions trading course. You know, so there's been a lot of things that I've been focused on, guys, which really took me away from the Asian session streams with you guys. But we are back, right? We are back, and we are live, and I'm excited to be here with every single one of you guys. In the meantime, in between time, family, go ahead and drop those locations in the Chizzy chat, right? Drop those locations in the Chizzy chat. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I see we got Nigeria, we got Nairobi, we got Colombo, Sri Lanka, Texas, Jamaica, and the Pip Islands. Right, what's going on, family? Shout out to you guys. Let's see, my apologies for my absence. Nah, it's all good, Native God. All right, I appreciate you tuning in with us tonight. We got Wisconsin in the building. My guy Alex, what's up? All right, let's see, Michigan, ATL, Nigeria, Cali in the building as well. Shout out to you guys all tuning in with me tonight. Real Talk Abel, thank you. Been rocking with you since I am, and you one of the real ones. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Jaquise. Thank you so much. I rock with you as well. Right, so it's gonna be a good one, family. If you guys were on this morning's live stream, you know, because we were live this morning for New York session, I think it was an absolute banger, like an absolute banger of a stream this morning. A lot of value, a lot of nuggets were passed around. You know, a lot of knowledge was acquired if you were actually paying attention. You know, and yeah, you know, big shout out to everybody that was with us this morning as well, guys. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to come on here at least for the start of the session, and just recap what I was looking for this morning. All right, because this morning I personally wasn't able to take advantage of not much. The trade that I was looking for. Let me turn down this music a little bit more. All right, the trade that I was looking for, guys, was this GJ opportunity. We were looking at it this morning. I was literally looking at it down here. All right, I mean, full transparency, I am currently in this trade right now, GJ longs. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna ride it out for, to be honest with y'all, because I do think we are gonna end up turning around and going a lot more bearish here for GJ. But this was the opportunity, and it was the position that I was looking at earlier today. So let's go ahead and just recap that really quickly, guys. So this morning, I was looking at the markets, and it was somewhere around like here, right? And I was telling everybody, I was like, man, I personally want to see this thing go bullish, right? I want to see the market go ahead and run this little low right here, and then go ahead and give us an opportunity to go, long, right, off of, the market coming down to this 166 level. Now, obviously, since you guys just seen, the market didn't actually reach there, right? It didn't fully get to that level itself, unfortunately. And this is what happened, right? I mean, damn, that happened really quickly. Let me slow this down, right? I think y'all missed it, right? Let me slow this down real quick because I think y'all might have missed it. All right, so this is what we were looking for. I was literally watching it since early, and I'm talking about since like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., right? I was watching this, waiting for it, being patient. And then the market want to do something like this, right? It want to just tap ever so slightly, right? Like we're talking about, it tapped ever so slightly below that level, which is what we wanted to see. I just needed it to go about 7 pips lower, right? And then I would have been in it. And then look what happened. This thing just absolutely exploded right to my take profit level. All right, so I mean the analysis was correct. The entry is what was you could say not up to par, right? Just by how it actually reacted. Realistically, I should have just been able to just take it on the engulfing, right? But again, I really hate going back after trade setups and be like, man, I should have did this. I mean, yeah, when you're learning and when you're going through the process, guys, of really getting better, you have to start to look at things after the fact, right? So that you can grow on, right? But for me, I'm more experienced enough to this point where I really don't like going back on that hindsight type of thinking, like, man, I should have did this. Like, nah, man, it is what it is, right? The setup was there. We had a chance. We didn't get what we wanted to. We missed it, and it is what it is, right? So that's pretty much what happened this morning, family. It was an absolute banger. It's just, missed my personal entry by, a few pips. It is what it is. But then the market ended up rolling over pretty nicely, right? Shout out to that boy Devon as well, right? Devon was an actual special guest on our call this morning. Shout out to Devon. I know a lot of y'all that was on the call this morning, was able to get a lot of value from that boy Devon. He was on the call this morning dropping bombs, right? Like he was on the call just providing a lot of value, from the mindset, from the process, from the journey, just pretty much just being transparent with everybody. And it was dope, right? It was a very, very good call with him. So big shout out to Devon for, hopping on that morning or this morning. But Devon also said something to you guys as well before we wrapped it up. Like literally like the last thing that I think he said, right? In fact, we got a little time. Let's go ahead and let me go ahead and take a look at something real quick, guys. Give me 1 second, right? Because I want you guys to see that I'm not making this stuff up, right? Let me see. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we was on for almost 3 hours this morning too, which is amazing. All right, so like I was saying, right, look at this. This was from this morning's live stream, guys. If you guys are not following this specific YouTube channel, The Profit Society, definitely go ahead and subscribe to that family. That's my company YouTube channel, right? That's my company's YouTube channel. This right here that you guys are currently on is my personal channel, and then we also have the company branded channel, right? But on this call, again, let's just get straight to the point. That boy Devon, after just showing what happened, he literally told everybody, he's like, man, you know what, I could tell you guys, but I'd rather you guys hear it from him real quick, right? So let's go ahead and just look at this, right?
If we go to the weekly, it's talking about how this is a weekly high. So if I can get this to stay strong, I would definitely take this, but I want it to come back up to entry. So I'm looking at about 167, 240, 250 actually, because I don't like one thing with me is I will do half and whole numbers. I've seen lately that has been really significant for me. Yeah, I'm might have missed it honestly, but yeah, I'm just gonna watch this play out.
Yeah. Nah, it's a good play. Yeah, so again, he literally told everybody, he's like, yo, he's looking for the short here on GJ. And look what happened. Right? This mother junker completely collapsed from the areas that he was looking at, right? Remember the price that he said? He said 250. 167,250. Look at how crazy this thing went up to that 167,250. Literally about half of a pip of drawdown, right? And that thing just been tanking ever since, right? Like literally just dropped the entire day, like the entire day nonstop. And then this is when that trade that I was originally looking to get filled on finally ended up getting filled on, right? And then we ended up just seeing it finally giving us a reversal. And now this is where we're currently at right now, family. So again, just wanted to go ahead and just update you guys on the entire process of what happened from this morning to currently, what the market is currently doing for at least the trade that I was looking at. And yeah, I think it was a very good day overall in the markets, you know. And I think for me, I think we're just getting started. I truly believe it's going to be a very phenomenal week for sure, especially for everybody that is going to continue to watch us and tune in with us live every morning. You know, we definitely got your guys' back for sure. You know, but again, I am in this position currently right now, all right, as we speak. I also am, just full transparency, I am at break even as well right now. Okay, I am currently at break even. You know, this thing was up around 50 pips at one point. You know, we're up around 30 to 40 now, right? But I am at break even. I'm not sure if anybody is still holding this position or was at least still watching this position like I was this morning. You know, but that's pretty much just a quick update, family, as to what happened this morning and where I'm currently sitting at right now. You know, I'm in this position, stops to break even, so I can't really lose on it. And now we just let the thing play out. Right now, we just allow the market to do what it has to do. And then we go ahead and, yeah, you know, deal with the consequences, right? Whether they're good or whether they're bad, right? Now, is it a possibility for this thing to come all the way back down to these, you know, extreme lows? It's a possibility, right? It's a possibility. The market gonna do what it wants to do at the end of the day, all right? So it is a possibility, guys, for this thing to come all the way back down here, and it is what it is if it does, right? You know, if I get stopped out at break even, it's cool. You know, I'll just reanalyze it, see what the market is doing, and if it gives us another play, then guess what? We'll go ahead and take that, all right? But yeah, you know, there is, you know, we're gonna be patient. We're gonna see what the market does happen over the next, you know, hour or so to see, you know, what we're gonna be doing with GJ. But this is what I'm really looking for with GJ, right? So I am in this buy, guys, but I'm probably not going to be riding this buy too far. You know, I'm only going to be targeting up to this 166.8 level right here, because I'm actually going to be looking for a little bit of a different scenario, a little bit of a different play now, right? So we already got the initial move that I was initially looking for, even though I just got triggered a little bit later than I wanted to, and the initial big move already happened. For this specific play, I really only want to target to this 166,800, because then at that point, I'm actually going to be looking for some potential shorts in this market here, guys, right? So for the rest of this week, it's more, at least for tonight, it's more so setting up a nice long-term position to ride GJ to the downside. Okay, so I'm very much going to be interested, guys, in looking to short GJ, you know, from up at these highs up here. You know, if we can get back up into these extremes, all right, then that's really where I would be very interested, guys, in looking for some shorts again. All right, and that's what I'm gonna be playing for. I'm gonna be paying attention to that, and you know, if keyword here is if we can get an entry, then yeah, I think this can absolutely be a banger. All right, I think it can absolutely be a freaking banger, right? You know, and let me go ahead and explain to you guys why. I mean, just look at this weekly time frame and tell me what you guys see. All right, I don't want to erase my charts. Let me go ahead and just bring up a different GJ real quick, right? Bring up a different GJ. So looking at this on the weekly time frame, family, right? Tell me how you guys really feel. What are these markups? What are these markings? Interesting. All right, look at this on the weekly and tell me what y'all really see here on the weekly. All right, because this is a very interesting scenario that we've seen here, right? We had all of this built up resistance right here. We seen the market finally end up running that high, running the resistance, right? But then we also seen an immediate rejection, right? Like once we got a close above this level, right? Not all these wicks. All these wicks are important to an extent, right? But once we got that closure, that probably enticed a lot of people to continue looking for buys. And the market was like, nope, here's the pump fake. Gotcha. Right. And ever since then, guys, we have pretty much came back below this range. And although coming back below the range is significant, right? But it's not really that thing that's like, oh, man, it's time, right? It's what we just seen, right? The most recent weekly candle that just closed and how that closed, that's more telling than anything. Right, because how we actually ended up, the reaction is important, right? Seeing the break above the highs and getting immediately sucked back in, right? That's important, right? Because, I mean, that's very important, is being able to react to price action. But also seeing how we're also following through now is also very important, right? Like we have this nice, strong engulfing candle that happened all last week. This current weekly candle, guys, we did end up spiking back up to test that last bullish candlestick that got pretty much completely erased. And now I think, and again, I could be completely wrong, right? But I think now is where we start to see, you know, some selling pressure start to come in, right? So, yeah, I think, you know, and it's something actually that the boy Skaggs was talking about as well, you know, because he was looking at things from a much bigger perspective than I was, right? I was more looking at things from a, you know, a scalp intraday type of opportunity, which absolutely played out. And he was looking at it from more of a bigger time frame thing, right? And this is very similar, right? Now looking at it on the weekly, yeah, I think there's a very good chance for this thing now to continue lower and for us to eventually get down to this wick, right? And go ahead and fill this entire wick that we have here, guys. So just keep that in mind. If we are able to go ahead and grab an entry, which is what I'm going to be looking for going into tonight, just like what Skaggs said this morning, there's a good chance for us to actually be able to ride this thing down, all right? And we're talking about, I mean, this is the weekly, guys, but just to fill the wick, all right, that's around 1,800 pips, right? Like that's 1,800 pips to the downside, right? So that's a big boy move right there, okay? So that's just something to keep in mind, something to consider. And the reason why I'm not going to be riding this buy that I'm currently in for too far, but I'm really going to be more so looking for the opportunity to go short on GJ to finish out this entire week. Right now, if I'm wrong, so be it. It is what it is, right? But if I'm right, wow, right? If I'm right, it's going to be an absolute banger, right? An absolute banger, family. And I know you guys want some bangers with me, right? If you guys want to catch a nice banger like that, a 1,800 pip trade, go ahead and drop banger in the chat for me one time. All right, and also smash the like button as well. I'm not even gonna lie, smash that like button, family, and I'll really give you, right? If you smash the like button, I'll really give you the exact entry perimeters that I'm looking here for this short, right? So if you want to get the exact setup, the exact perimeter, right, of what I'm looking for, then yeah, you know, go ahead and smash the like button, right? What we got, about 70 people on this call, right? Let's get around, you know, 70 likes, right? And yeah, you know, I'll give you guys the exact entry, take profit, stop loss that I'm personally going to be using, that I think is going to be triggered tonight, and I ain't going to lie. All right, so I think there's a good chance that we do go ahead and get triggered tonight. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Right? Big shout out to all you guys. I appreciate y'all for dropping the banger. I also appreciate y'all for liking the stream up. It definitely means a lot for you guys to, you know, like the stream. All right, I appreciate y'all. Right? Big shout out to that boy Tyson in the building with the 999. What is going on? My guy, I appreciate you, Tyson. Appreciate you so much for supporting the channel. Right, for being a sponsor of the channel, definitely means a lot. And if you have anything that you need to talk about today, any pairs, any questions, right, Tyson, you are at the top of the list. You get priority because you showed massive love, right, by dropping that $9.99. I appreciate you. All right, so let's go ahead and actually break this down now, guys, right? And really go ahead and yeah, see what we can be looking at, right? In terms of, you know, entries for GJ, in terms of stops, in terms of everything, right? I'm talking about all the perimeters, right? What I'm personally going to be taking. So the first thing I'm looking at here, guys, and I'm going to break it down for y'all so you guys can see exactly where I'm looking at as well. All right, the first thing that I'm looking at here, guys, right, is what happened here, right? Again, this is the move that we were looking at this morning, right? We had a very aggressive run up that got completely erased very, very quickly, right? Now, why did that happen? Well, I'm looking at this level up here. I'm actually going to erase the background, or at least the thing in the background, right? And I'm looking at this level right here, guys, right? And we had this little, you know, area of liquidity, this little pause in the market, guys, that probably built up some liquidity right there before this bigger sell-off, right? And we know that this level right here built liquidity because look at the reaction that followed it, right? Like we paused up here for literally 15 minutes and then this thing just tanked and also caused a break of structure, right? So that's telling in itself, right? So when the market came all the way back up here, guys, we started to test above this level and we started to find a lot of, you know, a lot of liquidity up there, right? And that's what really started to cause the market to shift lower. But if this area right here, guys, is the level that we actually ran to grab liquidity, well, I want to see the market come back somewhere near that level again, all right? Up in this area up here, all right? This is going to be my entire kill zone that I'm going to be looking for and I'm going to be playing going into tonight. Now, again, this could happen on our stream, or I don't think it's gonna, right? Because we are still a little bit of waves, but it could happen. So this is going to be my personal play is going to be right here, all right? This is going to be looking for here on GJ, guys, right? Something like this. I'm really going to be interested in seeing this play right here, you know, really hold, right? So we have the bigger kill zone as a whole, but I really like this specific level right here. I'm actually going to highlight this as well so it stands out a little bit more, right? I'm going to change this color to, let's go red, right? Like this is the level I really want to see price hold at, all right? So I'm going to be putting my stops a little bit, yeah, like right there at that level. Yeah, we could do like this. This is going to be fine, right? I think this is going to be a very good setup right here, guys. So I'm going to be looking for price to reach up into that 166,900 level. That is where my entry is going to be, around that 166,900. All right, my stop loss, I'm going to put my stop loss. It's going to be around a 30 pip stop, right? It's not going to be as tight as it could be, especially if we were like watching this in real time, then we can always have a tighter stop based off reactions. But since we're not, and since this could realistically happen during London and my ass is going to be sleeping, I want to make sure I give my stop loss enough wiggle room just in case, right? You know, so we're talking about entry around 166.9, stop loss above 167.2. All right, and my target, I'm going to have a bunch of different targets here, guys, right? My first target, my initial target number one, it's going to be back to the lows. All right, target number one is back to the lows. All right, and that's already a 96 pip trade, right? That's a 3-to-1 risk to reward, right? Which already is not bad, right? And then we got our next targets, right? Every single one of these lower highs, or technically these previous higher lows, are going to be potential targets. All right, now why are these levels going to be potential targets? Who knows in the chat? What are these levels? Why are these levels important to us, family? Let me know in the chat, right? That's the question I really want to ask, right? Why are these little higher low points, higher low points, higher low points? Why are these higher low points actually pretty significant, right? Who knows the answer for this? Why would we be targeting? Let me actually rephrase this. Why would we be targeting these levels right here? Right, because I see us guys really potentially making our way all the way back down to these lows. Right, and back down to this low is around 290 pips. All right, that's a banger, right? Risking 30 to go for 290. That's a 10-to-1 risk to reward. That's a banger, right? Big shout out to Kayla for the 99 cents. Let's go, Kayla. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, sponsoring the channel. Definitely means a lot to me. So whatever questions, comments, or concerns that you have, Kayla, let me know. Any pairs that you want me to look at, let me know. And I got your back for Shursky. All right, for Shursky. All right, so why are these levels important? All right, well, these levels are going to be important, guys, because these are all a bunch of levels that are probably have been building up liquidity. right? All of these higher lows have been building liquidity. All right, we haven't seen no real break of structures. For the most part, this has been a very smooth uptrend, right? Very smooth with really no crazy liquidity grabs in between, right? So all of these higher low points, guys, are now areas of potential liquidity, right? So I'm going to go ahead and change these to this SSL, which stands for sell side liquidity, right? And these are going to be the levels, guys, that I truly think we could potentially target for sure to the downside. Right, I really like this potential idea, so that's how I'm gonna be playing it. All right, so again, if we are able to get this entry up here, again, entry around 166.9, then just know, I'm gonna be going ahead and riding this thing all the way back down to these lows. All right, so that one looks pretty good though. I think it's honestly a very high probability in this type of setup right here, guys. A very high probable setup right here. Now, again, even though I just said there's very high probability, the market's still going to do what it wants to do, right? It is what it is. And the reason why I bring that up, guys, because there is also another level that I'm still keeping my eyes on, right? And if this does not sell off the way I expect it to, it's probably because of all this liquidity that we have built up here still. All right, again, SSL stands for sell side liquidity. BSL stands for buy side liquidity, right? Anybody that's really been understanding the smart money concept, the way of trading, especially if you guys follow, the creator of it, right? You guys should understand BSL and SSL, right? Buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity, right? But there is still this massive level up here, right? Above this 169 level, which again is definitely something, guys, that could be targeted, right? I don't want to try to shy away from that, right? I really don't, because it's very possible for that to happen. But just based on how we've really been playing, and based on how this weekly candlestick's been playing, how the weekly been playing out, guys, that's the reason why I'm still very comfortable with taking this chance here. All right, if I win, I win, even though I think I'm gonna win. If I lose, I lose. It is what it is. All that's telling me is that we're gonna continue going bullish. All right, and then I'll pretty much just look for some more shorts up, above that 169. So if we break this, again, just to clarify, right, if we run this level, right, and we run my stop loss, at that point I'm going to change my bias momentarily and just look for more buys all the way until we go ahead and clear above this 169. And then above that 169 is where I'm really going to be looking for more shorting opportunities for sure to continue all the way back down. All right, so yes, just a little quick update, guys, of how I'm going to be playing GJ, but I think there is a very good chance for us to play off of here, so I'm going to be taking my chances there for sure. I'm going to be risking around 1 to 2% on it. So I win, I'll be making 10 times my risk if I'm able to go all the way down to the lows. If I lose, I only lost 2%. All right. So that's the name of the game here, guys, is risk to reward at the end of the day, right? When you're able to go ahead and find opportunities like this that are able to get you, great risk to rewards, and you're consistently actually riding it out for these risk to reward plays, right? Extended targets. That's really all you need, all right? Your focus goes from trying to win every single trade to just trying to find high probability setups with great risk to reward, right? Let me say that one more time, guys, because that was an actual bar that might have went over a lot of people's heads, all right? When you progress as a trader, right, because a lot of newer traders right now, a lot of things that they focus on that really causes them to struggle is that they try to be 100% accurate, right? They're trying to, win every single trade, right? Because they haven't developed the skill of losing. Right, just like how you guys are developing the skill of winning right now, right? You guys are developing all these different techniques, developing your mindset, right? You're developing all these things to win. You also have to develop a skill of losing as well, right? Just like how you guys want to win like professionals, we have to be able to lose like professionals as well, family, right? But let's get back to what I was talking about. You're eventually going to go from being, man, I need to win as many trades. Let me win this trade, right? And just focus on, your win percentage, right? You're focused on, your win rate, which again is normal. Every trader does it. To then eventually you're going to go and transition into, you know what? I don't care about my win rate because it's not as important. Let me focus on proper risk to rewards, finding the highest probability setups with great risk to reward, and I can focus on that. Right, because what that does, guys, now that takes away the fear of losing when you actually operate and you understand the power of risk to reward. right? I'm able to take wins just like I'm able to take losses, right? My losses and my wins, I'm still having the same exact emotional bias, same exact emotional outcome, because at the end of the day, I understand, right, that my win rate is not going to decide my profitability in this market, right? Win rate does not decide profitability, right? Let me say that again. Win rate does not decide profitability. I had to take a dramatic pause for that right there, guys. Right? That was a dramatic pause for a reason, by the way, right? Let me say that for the third time. Your win rate truly is not going to decide profitability. Okay? It's your ability to, for one, find high probability trades, but also utilize proper risk to reward. Right? And the reason why I say that, and some of you guys are probably thinking, well, Abel, bro, but if I'm 50%, if I'm, 70% accurate, all I got to do is win, 7 out of 10 trades, right? I could be profitable. Not necessarily, right? Because there's people out there, guys, believe it or not, that are 70% accurate, but they're still not profitable. Like, they're not profitable at all, right? In fact, no shade to anybody that's using any trading bots out there, right? But a lot of these trading bots that are out there, right, quote unquote AI, which is really not AI because it's really just an EA, an expert advisor that people are quoting AI to try to use it for marketing, right? A lot of these trading bots, they actually are very accurate, right? 60, 70, 80% accurate. But the reason why they're still shitty is because those wins are literally nothing compared to the losses, right? Like, the losses itself, guys, are 10 times the win. So yeah, you can be 70% accurate and still be a non-profitable trader because you're taking very small wins but massive losses, right? You have like a negative risk to reward there that's not working out in your favor, right? So again, win rate does not decide profitability. Okay? Your risk to reward also technically doesn't decide it, but it gives you a better advantage in these markets, right? It gives you a much better heads up in these markets, and it's giving you a better chance of actually seeing some type of results in the long run, right? So I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense, family? Drop some sevens in the chat real quick, right? Drop some 777s. Drop a 7 in the chat if that's making some type of sense, because that is very, very powerful, and that's why I had to repeat what I said a bunch of times, because it is so powerful. For sure, and it's something that I wish I was taught when I started trading 8 years ago, right? I wish I was taught about these things, a bunch of times ago, right? But it's stuff that you grow and you develop over time throughout the course of your journey. But big shout out to, man, you guys are going crazy with the donations in the chat. I appreciate y'all so much for showing me love. Right, we got Marcus Town in the building. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate you for showing love, for supporting the channel. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and drop it in the chat, and I'll definitely answer those. Family. Appreciate. I didn't even know that person talks. Appreciate. Oh, okay. Let's go. Jaquise, I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for that $4.99. Let's go. You guys are on fire today. Appreciate y'all, man. You guys are definitely absolutely amazing. And I'm doing this for y'all, right? But I hope that makes sense, guys, in terms of win rate, risk reward, things like that. And yeah, this is what I'm gonna be looking for tonight. If we're able to go ahead. Again, keep in mind, I am already in a trade here, right? I am already in an entry, which again I already spoke to you guys about down here. All right, so I am in a buy currently. My stops are at break even, and again, this is the buy that we talked about this morning, New York session. I'm in it. Again, we're going to see what the market gives us. I'm really just going to be trying to ride it out to around this 166,800 level. And then from there, I'm going to see if I can go ahead and, position myself for this short. So that's going to be my play overall, guys, for GJ. But just know I plan on abusing the hell out of GJ tonight. So I don't know if any of you guys, have a thing with GJ, but she's mine tonight, you heard? Like, I need you guys to really understand that, family, right? Because I know a lot of you guys like trading GJ, but I'm claiming her for tonight. I don't mind sharing her with you guys, but just know she's mine for tonight, right? I'm not playing around with her at all. I know Devon's been sharing her with me all morning, right? In fact, I wasn't even able to, take advantage of her at all this morning. Devon was, I ended up borrowing her out, lending her out to Devon this morning, so Devon was able to take advantage of her, use her. And I'm pretty sure Devon can agree that, he's had a very phenomenal time with GJ. She's been doing amazing, wonderful things that he's never been able to experience in his life before, right? So it's amazing to see, what GJ is providing from him, but now she needs to come back home and nurture. She needs to nurture daddy, right? So, yeah, that's my play here, though. All right, let me see what else we got here. I just passed my Forex 50K challenge this morning using my EA and, of course, my trading strategy. Let's go, my rook. Big shout out to you. That's amazing, man. Big shout out to you. Everybody, go ahead and drop some sevens in the chat as well, right, for my rook, right? That is amazing. Let's go, right? One thing about me, family, is I love showing gratitude, right? I love showing love, and I need y'all to show love with me, right? So if we see somebody in the community, in the chats family, that's actually doing some type of progress, seeing success, seeing results, man, we gotta celebrate them, all right? You gotta celebrate them as if it is you that just accomplished that goal, right? Like, talk about it, family. Like, celebrate other people as if you're the one that just accomplished that. What does that do for you, right? All you're doing is when you celebrate others, right, you are attracting that same exact accomplishment into your life, right? Whatever it is that you celebrate, you attract. That's a bar. All right, whatever it is that you celebrate, you attract, right? So if you guys want to go ahead and get, these funded challenges passed, just start celebrating other people that are doing it. All right, show some gratitude to them, show some love to them, right? Just watch how God repays you for showing love. Just watch how God repays you for showing love, man. I just had to throw that out there real quick. Let's see, why you talking about GJ like she a leg? Shout out to my little bro Danny. Listen, man, be like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you got to take advantage of her, you know what I'm saying? Let's see, phase 2 in place. Thanks, I owe a lot to you. Let's go, mister. I love it, man. I love it. GJ has been paying me well. I had to add it to my arsenal. Listen, Devon, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Like, I only lended you her today. She's mine again, brother. And I ain't going to lie. Yeah, it was only for today. Don't get ahead of yourself, my guy. Don't get – all right, but family – again, so that's GJ. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the markets. Matter of fact, before we even get into that, I want to just take a quick look at the calendar. Just so that you guys are aware of what we do got to come, or what we got to deal with, guys, over the next day or so. So for today, there really wasn't nothing too crazy. We had GDP just come out a couple hours ago for the Australian dollar. Their GDP actually ended up coming out a little bit lower, all right, than what was forecasted. But their GDP is starting to decline, right? So it's nothing crazy though, right? It's not like a decline that's gonna really, cause that central bank over there to, do something drastic. But, the Reserve Bank of Australia, they did actually start to lower by how much they're raising rates. All right. So if they continue to see GDP go lower and lower, like if this number continues to drop, then yeah, that's they're going to have to probably do a U-turn or something like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was pretty much like the only major thing we had for today, guys. For tomorrow, though, we do got some interesting news. We do got the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. Shout out to that guy Eric in the chat for talking about GCAD, and I think it was GCAD he was talking about, right? But really talking about the interest rate decision, right? Again, they're, as of right now, they are expecting to raise rates around 50 basis points, right? Which is a interesting move here for the Bank of Canada, right? But depending on how it comes out, guys, obviously the market is going to react in a very interesting way. I would love to watch this live with you guys tomorrow, but I'm not going to be able to. I actually got a haircut at that time, so it's a dub for watching that live. But another thing we have to be aware of, guys, is GDP as well later on in the night for the yen, right? As of right now, depending on how this comes out, the Bank of Japan might have to act. It might not do nothing, right? One thing that we've learned this entire year is that the Bank of Japan, guys, really hasn't done shit, right? Like, they have not done anything at all in terms of, trying to help their currency, right? If you guys know what the hell's been going on with the yen all year, I mean, this thing has just been on an absolute tear, all right? And the Bank of Japan really, I'm not going to say that they didn't care, but they really weren't doing enough to try to help it out, right? There's been a couple times where they actually, intervene into the markets, that caused the markets to shake a little bit. But for the most part, really didn't do much, right? This overall turnaround that we've experienced is literally just because of dollar weakness that we've experienced, right? Like, we've been experiencing a lot of dollar weakness as well. But, yeah, so overall, they haven't really done much, right? So I'm not really too worried about what the hell the Bank of Japan is going to do here, or I'm not even too worried about this GDP release. Now, GDP is one of the top tier news events to be aware of, right? But for the most part, for this one with the yen, I'm not really too focused on that, right? But that's the news that we do got to worry about for tomorrow, guys. Mainly just probably this interest rate decision for the CAD. So anybody that is trading Canadian pairs, just be mindful of that for sure, because the markets could get very, very interesting for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and see what else we got here now, guys. Take a quick look at all the markets, right? And let's see what we got. All right, so starting off with the dollar, and I'll go ahead and take a look at all of your guys' pairs for sure. All right, whatever you guys want, I got y'all. Right, so let's see. Jacques said NZD USD. Since you sponsored the channel, I got you right now. We're going straight to that. I'm not even going to follow the order. We're going straight to what you want analyzed, because again, you show love to me, I show love to you. Point blank, period. Right. So let's go take a look at NZD USD. What are we thinking happen here for NZD USD, guys? Right. Well, based off what we're looking at, like, this is a very interesting setup actually, right? Because we're all the way up here at these extreme highs already, you know, for NZD USD. And what I like the most about us being above these highs, for one, we ended up spiking above this level right here, right, which we had some short-term liquidity inside of this level, right? But the reaction that we've seen here on the daily, like, I'm very convinced just by looking, like, I don't even need to do nothing else, right? But I think this is definitely going to start to drop for sure. Now, obviously, I could be wrong, right? But just based on how this looks right here, this looks like a phenomenal opportunity to go short. All right, I think it looks very, very good. In fact, like, I'm being a little aggressive right now, but you know, I'm just gonna leave this up here right now, right? And I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if we end up seeing this thing drop this 700 pips all the way back down to these lows. Like, I just wouldn't be surprised at all about that, right? Just looking at price actions. In fact, like, this is one of my favorite, like, candlestick plays right here. Like, I love this play right here. Like, it happened over here as well. All right, it happened over there. It's happening right here. You know, and this is actually something that I actually go in depth on in my full course. All right, that I'm about to drop very, very soon. Big shout out to all you guys that are a part of my boot camp that ended up grabbing that boot camp video series. Right, you guys are now going to be grandfathered into my full entire course, which is going to be next level, right? I'm not gonna give away too much, but just know it's about to be. It's only gonna complement and take whatever you guys learned in the boot camp to the next level. All right, so big shout out to all y'all that took advantage of that. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all for doing that for sure. Right, but in the boot camp, or not in the boot camp, but in the course, guys, I talk about this specific entry technique right here. All right, and it's very simple. You know, we have obviously bullish candle, but then we have this big bearish engulfing, and it's not even the engulfing candle that I'm talking about, right? The engulfing is definitely a part of it, but it's how we ended up sweeping this high of the last day, right? We're on a daily time frame, right? So this is previous day's candle. Whenever we see a run of the high of the previous day candle, which we did see with this wick right here. All right, I don't want to get too into it, right? Because this is some sauce right here, right? When we see the run of the high, and that run of the high turns into an engulfing, oh my goodness. Yo, it's one of those things, guys, where I'm like, yo, that looks so good. All right, like, something like this is an absolute banger. All right, like an absolute banger. Like, looking something like this, right? We see initially we see the run of the high, but it gets completely erased because there was so much selling pressure up there, and that's why I'm expecting this thing to continue, right? And that's just from looking at the candlesticks, right? But let's go ahead and take a look at over here as well. And we had a similar play here, right? And you guys can see exactly what happened, right? This entire sell-off came after we had this little bearish candle right there, but it's this one right here that I was looking at, right? Similar concept, right? We had this candle right here and the breaking previous day's high, right? And then immediately closed back down into a bearish candle. Look at this, right? We had a run of previous day's high right here, and then immediately selling pressure came in. What happened after that? This thing ends up dropping 700 pips. Okay, if you want to look at it on the buy side, even down here at these lows, we had another situation here on these lows, right? Similar, not necessarily as similar as these ones, because these ones ended up engulfings, but look at this, right? This candlestick right here, we had this support that was created, right? We had this demand zone created. We see the run of the zone. We break below these day lows right here, right? This low right here, and immediately we come back above, and we actually, technically, it wasn't engulfing, right? We ended up engulfing previous day's candle, which led to this massive run up to the upside, right? So if you guys could see that candlestick play here, guys, I like to call it, and I'm calling it right now, the candlestick flip, right? I just made it up right now as we're speaking, because I really didn't have no cool name for it, but nowadays people be naming these type of things, right? So I'm just gonna call it the candlestick flip, right? The candlestick flip, when we break the highs and we initially come back below and close below it, you know, I think there's a very good chance for us to go ahead and continue going lower, guys, for sure. Now let's go ahead and start to, you know, fine tune this though, right? Let's go ahead and fine tune this now and see where a actual precise entry could potentially be at. All right, so now that we actually are coming to lower time frame, what is the market doing right now? It's accumulating orders. All right, all we're doing up is accumulating orders. We're starting to build up a ton of orders, right? Orders is the same thing of liquidity, right? So if we're building up orders, we're building up a ton of liquidity, right? So we have liquidity now on both sides of these levels right here, right? Above the highs, below the lows, right? Again, very simple, guys. Whenever we do have sideways price action, that is the market creating liquidity, building up liquidity, only for it to eventually run that liquidity and then go ahead and, yeah, make its initial move. So now that we do have all of this liquidity being built up, we have to see the run of liquidity, right? We need to see the run of liquidity. So I think there's a very good chance for us to really look for some shorts up here at these levels, right? Now we're able to really fine tune our entry. But I'm really excited, guys, for this up here. All right, which again is definitely a lot higher than what we're currently at. But keep in mind, we were looking at it from the daily time frame to start off, right? But I think if we're able to see price come up to this 0.639, I'm very comfortable looking for some shorts on there. All right, I'll be very comfortable looking for some shorts. All right, and I'm very comfortable, right? And the thing is, guys, like once you get comfortable with identifying entries, you don't care about the outcome, right? So when I say I'm comfortable with taking this trade, that means I have a lot of confidence in the setup. But that also means that I don't really care if we get stopped out because the trade was such a good trade, right? And that's really what comes down to, guys, just understanding the difference between good trades and bad trades, right? Good losses and bad losses, right? There's going to be, you know, a lot of good losses that you end up taking, right? It is what it is. The market is going to do what it wants to do. All right, this is one of those setups, guys, where it just makes so much sense for this thing to drop. So if we do end up taking a loss on it, we got to just accept it, right? We got to just shake it off. We got to just give the win to the markets and just, you know, rebound for the next game, right? I mean, think about it, right? For all my athletes on the call, right, you guys know that feeling, right, when you actually going up, you're going against, you know, somebody that's a savage, right? That's a beast. You're going against somebody that, you know, is really good in that sport, and they beat you that one round. Right? Are you going to be upset? Are you going to be running away from them now? Or you now going to be like, nah, I want to get my get back, right? I want to one-on-one you once again, right? I want to make sure that I at least get another chance at you, right? Similar concept here, guys, right? You know, there's going to be times where we take some losses that are actually good losses, right? That, you know, followed all of our rules. And those are the ones you have to be okay with, right? You cannot allow those good losses to, you know, cause you to make bad decisions. Damn, I just thought of a freaking bar. I just thought of a freaking nugget, family, right? A lot of traders, they will take a good loss, right? A good loss. They took a trade based off all of the rules, right? It followed their rules to the T, right? And they take a loss, and that loss off of a good trade now causes them to take another bad losses, right? Because now they're upset emotionally, they're in their feelings emotionally, and now they're like, man, what the hell's going on? It was a good setup. Why did I lose? Man, I should have won. And now because they're emotional, now they're going to start forcing a bunch of trades, right? So what initially started as a phenomenal trade setup, and they took a loss on it, is now going to lead to them taking a bunch of bad trade setups, which is going to lead to them blowing their damn account, right? I hope that makes sense, family, right? So again, be comfortable with the losses that are gonna happen. It is what it is. All right, I can come on these live streams, family, and take losses live with you guys and not give two craps about it, not give two shits about it, because all these trades that I'm taking, for the most part, in my opinion, based off my setups, based off my plan, are all good setups. So if I ever take a loss on a good setup, you're never gonna see me get upset about that. right? It is what it is, right? The market is going to get theirs. The market is going to win certain battles, right? That's guaranteed. We know the market is going to win certain battles, but they're not going to win the war, right? They can win some battles, but they're not going to win the war. Why? Because we're coming correct, right? We're coming correct, right? I don't know if you guys seen the one quote with Rick Ross, right? Rick Ross had said a quote in an interview that is viral, right? It's been going everywhere. I actually seen it a while ago, right? But he said, I don't want to move fast. I want to move correctly. Or some shit like that. I think he said either correctly or efficiently or something like that, right? I don't even know if that has anything to do with this, but it just came up into the mind right when he said that. He said, I don't want to move fast. He said, I just want to move correctly, right? Same thing with trading, right? You know, let's not rush the process. Let's just make sure we're taking efficient, profitable looking trades off of our setup, our strategy, and just dealing with the consequences. Right? Like it is what it is. Right? Correctly, right? You like that, right, Danny? All right, so that's NZD USD though, guys. Hopefully you guys understood the entire outlook from this from top to bottom, because we did a whole top-down analysis for this one right here, right? Starting from the daily, working all our way down. All right, and now we just got to be patient and, see what happens. But I will tell you guys this, right? During London session, if we are seeing this thing start to spike up, guys, right? All throughout London session and by New York session, by the time I wake my ass up, and if we're not in entry by the time we wake up, just know I will be taking a snap at that. I will be taking a stab at that, and I will be looking to ride this thing way down. All right, I'm talking about like this thing is again another one that can go for hundreds and hundreds of pips if we are able to go ahead and get an entry. All right, so we'll see what happens though. All right, obviously the market really doesn't have to move if it don't want to. It could just stay in this range this entire time. But I'm not interested in it at all unless we do come back up to this 0.639 level. All right, and even then, even on these smaller time frames, guys, we can even fine-tune this thing a lot more, right? Like if we really wanted to be savages, if we really wanted to be some snipers in the market, you can even fine-tune this entry even more, right? Like really, really get precise with your entry if you really wanted to be a savage, right? So, but yeah, that's my play here on NZD USD. All right, hopefully it makes some sense to you guys. I hope you guys understand exactly why I'm looking at what I'm looking at, and hopefully it makes some sense for you guys, and more so hopefully it educates you guys on how to actually approach this stuff. All right, so that's my play there. All right, but let's see what else we got here. Right, let's see USD CAD. Yeah, we could take a look at USD CAD as well. Give me 1 second. Let's see what else we got here. And it looks exactly like that, how I took that GJ trade. Yeah. Lock in on this. It looks really, it does look really good. It looks juicy for sure. Yeah, shout out to you, Jaquez, too, for the for the spotlight, man. Because listen, I'm gonna put it like this. I hope I'm saying your name right too, Jaquez, right? But if this plays out, Jaquez, I'm gonna cash app you some money, right? I'll pay for your lunch, right? One of these days, right? I got you on lunch, right? Because again, you're the only reason. Like this ain't even on my watch list, right? Like it's not even on my watch list, but I'm about to add it right the hell now. Just so that we can keep it up there. Just so we can keep it up there. Yeah, let's go ahead and add this. All right, yeah, and if it does play out, if I make some type of profit on this, Jaquez, I got you, right? I'll cash up you. I'll pay for your lunch. I'll pay for your dinner. I'll pay for something. I don't know. Just know I'll get you fed, all right? Just for showing love. But yeah, that one looks interesting. Let's see. Don't worry about the outcome if you accept the risk, 100%. That's a bar. That's a bar for sure. All right, let's see. That has been my problem. It's a big problem for a lot of people, Henry. Right? There's a lot of things that, we have to go through, right? Like, there's just certain things, guys, throughout this journey that you have to experience, right? Like if you haven't experienced a blown account, I don't trust you, all right? If you haven't experienced, a losing streak, I don't trust you, all right? If you haven't experienced, seasonalities in the seasons in the year, I don't trust you, right? If you haven't traded during a bull market and a bear market, again, I don't trust you, right? If you haven't went through a black swan event like Brexit, which most people probably won't, I don't trust you, right? So it's like all these things, guys, that we go through. We have to go through it, right? Like we have to go through those blown accounts. We have to go through those losing streaks, right? We have to go through those winning streaks. we have to go through those mental breakdowns, right? Like the things that we avoid in the beginning of the journey is the stuff that we actually have to go through, right? Which is kind of crazy, right? Like think about that, right? Like the stuff that we try to avoid is what's actually allowing us to really become the best trader possible, right? Like that's nuts, right? Like think about that. Right, so yeah, everybody's saying, man, I want to blow my account. Man, I don't want to do this and that. And I'm not saying just go and blow your account, right? That's just, nobody wants to lose money. But it's a different emotional battle when you go through that first blown account, right? It's a different emotional battle, guys, when you experience the losing streak, right? Are you able to bounce back? Are you able to, recover? It's a different type of emotional battle that you have to go through when you experience a lot of these different factors, right? So that's why I'm saying, like, the things that we like to avoid or we would love to avoid is truly the things that we need to go through so that we can truly develop into the trader that we need to develop into. Man, I don't know if you guys, I don't know, family. Are you guys listening right now in the chat? Right? Drop a yes in the chat if this is making sense, right? Because I see a couple of y'all is making a lot of sense for it, right? Like Eric, Jaquez, Devon, my bro Danny, right? Mark, what's going on, Mark? How you doing, right? Where's the stop loss for NU? The stop loss is going to be above this swing high right here, right? Around 0.6428. Or if you want to be a little bit more conservative, you can even throw it all the way above the higher high, right? If you really want to be conservative, you can throw it all the way above the higher high just to give a little bit of that wiggle room, right? But big shout out to y'all, man. For real, man. I appreciate y'all. We got Brother O in the building as well, showing love in the chat, man. Like, I appreciate all you guys that participate, guys, and just communicate back and forth with me in the chat. It definitely means a lot. And I get it. I know a lot of you guys are just watching the stream, so you guys don't have the chat on your screen. And that makes sense, right, because you guys are trying to pay attention. But one thing that I realized is that usually the ones that are actually active in the chats, and again, it just might be me, but usually the ones that are active in the chats are always usually the ones that are usually seeing the most results too. Right now, I'm not sure if there's a direct correlation to that, but that's what I noticed, right? Like I could tell that Eric is a beast, right? It's getting better, right? I already know Devon, right? Devon just had a withdrawal of a few $1,000s from his, his funded account, right? So I know these things, right? My little bro Danny against somebody else that has got funded numerous times, right? You see how that works. The people that are active in the chats, right? Also, Kayla, big shout out to you as well, right? The ones that are active in the chats are usually the ones that are going to get the results or already have the results, right? Now, I'm not sure if there's a correlation to that, but I don't know. I'm just seeing by the chats, right? I'm just seeing by the chats. All right, so. But I do appreciate all y'all, man. We got Bert in the building. Shout out to my brother Bert. I appreciate you as well. All right, but let's see what else we got here, right? Jabari in the building. Jesse, what's going on? I appreciate you. We got Junior from Boogie Down, the 718. Shout out to everybody out there in the 718. I appreciate you as well. All right, thank you guys for rocking with me this morning. Or this morning, right? This night. Right, let's see. I was speaking more as live capital funded, and live capital is totally different. 100%. It really is. All right, there is a difference for sure. Let's see. Let's see. Yep. Amazing, guys. So, yeah, this is a good one. Let's see. I noticed that I wasn't active before. Now that I've been active, I see gains. Yeah, I'm telling you. I don't know what it is, right? Like, it's just something that I've realized, right? The ones that are usually the most active, that are asking the questions, that are communicating back and forth, those are the ones that are actually taking it serious. Now, I'm not saying that you guys that are not communicating are not taking. I'm not saying that at all, right? And I don't mean it in a bad way. But it's usually the ones that are active in the chats, right? That are actually asking the questions, that are answering questions, that are, giving comments, concerns, right? Besides the trolls, they're usually the ones that are have a much higher likeliness of success, right? So just saying, just putting that out there. All right, let's see what else we got here. AK, let's go take a look at that real quick, right? I got you a favor for sure. Let's take a look at that. See what AUD CAD is up to. All right, I believe you actually asked that question as well. All right, I see Jabari asked the question. I think Favor also asked the question, for this indicator, right, which is pretty much marks off the higher highs, the higher lows, the change of characters, the breaks of structures, right? It's more so of a market structure tool, quote unquote, technically smart money tool, right? But this tool right here, guys, is actually called market structure. All right, market structure by Levy, by him. Whoever that is, right? So very simple. Just type in market structure. It's going to be this one right here. Market structure by Leviathan. All right, and that'll be able to mark up all these, these markings that you guys see. All right, it's pretty dope. All right, so let's go ahead and look at AUD CAD and see what we got here, right? Let's see. You said that you called it out in the private community. Let me go take a look at that really quickly. Let me see what we got here. Let's see. Oh, you called it out way earlier too. Okay, Favor, I see you. Okay. Let me see what you got here. Interesting. Yeah, okay. I see what you're looking at. All right, so let's take a look at this real quick now, guys. So what am I looking at here for AUD CAD, right? Well, overall, we are at very interesting levels. I love identifying price above these highs right here, right? Because there's one or two things that can happen. Typically, you know, we'll see either a follow through to the upside, right? A big push up, or we see the market go ahead and give us a nice big push down. But since we have been above these highs, guys, already for, I mean, what, we've been above these highs for a few days now, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days or so above these highs. If we do sell down below this, I'm not buying that, right? I don't know why. Just based off, and again, we're only talking about from a technical perspective, right? Typically, whenever we do run a high like this, a major high, and if we are going to go ahead and go back bearish off of that, usually you'll see a much quicker reaction off of that, right? You know, above here, normally you're supposed to identify, or, you know, you should see, guys, a lot of selling pressure come in. We didn't see that, right? In fact, the market has literally just been sitting above this high this entire time, right? Even after, you know, quote unquote, running numerous levels of liquidity. So that tells me from a technical perspective that this thing actually might continue bullish. Now, again, that's not saying that we can't drop first before we go bullish, because that's very possible. In fact, that's a very good potential play. You know, coming down to one of these low, you know, these structured lows could be an opportunity. But I think for the most part, we probably could lead to more upside. And again, I could be completely wrong, but it's more so just like looking how price action is playing around these levels. Right, we had a very strong weekly closure above this high as well. All right, so I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'm not liking how it's been playing it up. I'm not liking how it stayed above these highs. All right, that's what I don't like. Right, so if I'm expecting sell side pressure to come in, it should have been came in already, not 5-6 days later. All right, you know, so that's just a little perspective on that AUD CAD. Right, you know, a little breakdown as to yeah, about that. Now, again, that's not saying that it can't drop. It very well could drop, right? Let's start to go down lower time frame and see what we're playing with on lower time frame here now, right? To see if there's anything that is standing out, right? So the only thing that's standing out to me, I don't know, man. I don't know. For some reason, I'm looking. I'm looking. And again, this is just strictly thinking about it from a technical perspective. This thing looks bullish, man. Like, I think this looks bullish. I would love to see how we react around this. This level is going to be the make or break level right here. Right? This is really going to be the make or break down here. Right at this 91 level, this 0.910. Right, this is gonna be the make or break. Like I'm leaning towards this thing actually going bullish. Right, you know, we do have a lot of liquidity as well that's now starting to be built up with these higher highs up here that were created. Right, so we do have a lot of buy side liquidity that's also now being created, you know, up here, and it's been created for the past few days. So I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think in the chat, family? All right, for anybody that's, you know, has some experience, you know, what are you guys' thoughts and opinions here on AUD CAD? All right, because I'm more so leaning towards the upside. All right, I don't know. I think this is just more so tailored to want to go bullish as opposed to go bearish. Right, but yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely not one that I would personally like to trade. Personally speaking. All right, not one that I would personally like to trade. But if I was looking for something, it would have to be down here at these lows, right? I can't take it where it's at right now. I would need to see the price come back to these extremes. And then from these extreme lows, you know, go ahead and look for, you know, some more continuations. I don't know. It's just, yeah, I'm not a fan of AUD CAD. But that would be my guess, okay? I could be completely wrong, by the way. I could be completely wrong, and this thing could tank 1,000 pips, right? You know, so if that's your bias, if that's your analysis, then by all means, ride it out, right? It's either gonna, you know, it's either gonna play out in your favor, or you'll be able to take what I've been saying and, you know, learn something from it, right? All right, let's see. One reason I like is because, yeah, the CAD rate that could play into it for sure. All right. I mean, one thing that I've been telling you guys as well, if we really look at the CAD, right, and if we look at the CAD across the board, the Canadian dollar, guys, has been one of the stronger currencies for the past 2 years. All right. Like if you look at any currency pair, besides USD CAD, right, because USD CAD is just against the dollar, but if you look at most Canadian pairs, most of them all look very similar. All right. Most of them all look very similar, right? They were all very, very bearish until most recently. All right. CAD yen was flying all year, right? The CAD was actually very, very strong, right? Even GBP CAD, right, was dropping all year, right? So the CAD was very strong, guys, pretty much this entire year, right? And based off of the fact that they are planning on raising rates, it could bring some strength, right? So I definitely see what you're looking at, Faber, for sure. All right, I definitely see what you're looking at. But even then, I mean, the only way I would be looking for short is, and I don't know, man. Like, I get it from a fundamental perspective, right? You know, them raising rates, it could bring some Aussie strength. It could very well, right? But I would need to see this 0.91 level get taken out. Like, that's the only way I would have confidence in some shorts. Like, I would have to see this level get taken out. Or another play, and this is something that can actually happen too, right? Or if we actually end up running this high first, right? Like if we actually end up running this high first and we grab some liquidity, and then we initially come back inside of the range, see, now that's a whole different story, right? That's a whole different ball game, right? Now that's a whole different ball game. If we see something like this where we run the highs and then we come back in, see, then I'll be like, all right, bet. See, now price action is starting to go ahead and, you know, align itself, right? And then we can look at it from more of a, you know, a distribution type of, you know, schematic type of play, if you understand Wyckoff, right? So very interesting, right? But I would either have to play it above the highs or below this low, right? Anywhere in the middle right here, for me, it's just not a no trade. It's a no trade zone for me. All right, like I have no interest inside of this range. It's either above the highs I'm looking for a sell, all right, or below the range I'm looking for a sell. It's tough for me to, I don't even know, bro. Yeah, I'm not even going to be trading this one. Because even me looking for the sell above here, right, the only way I would look for the sell is if we broke it but then close back below it. That's the only way. Like on a break above here, I have no interest on looking for sells. Only way I'm looking for is if we come back below the range. That's the only way. If not, we can break this thing, guys, and absolutely continue going bullish, right? I'm going to be honest. That's probably what I'm leaning towards, right? Us just continuing to go bullish, but you never know. The market going to do what it wants to do regardless. Well, let's see what else we got here. Wait until tomorrow. Make a decision. Looking bearish to me. They expecting 50 points, so that might cause bullish reaction. Yep. Touching structure on 1 week. Big time premium on 4 hour. I would only sell. That's a good outlook. Let's go ahead and look at. I mean, we are pretty high. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like how we're reacting above these highs, though. I really don't. Like, I really don't. I'm just going to put this little buy side liquidity above here just for future references, right? I'm actually going to leave this exact same outlook right here, too, right? But, yeah, that's AUD CAD, man. I don't know. I'm a little torn on that one for sure. All right, let's see. Can you look at GBP AUD? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's take a look at that real quick, right? Pound Aussie. Let's see what we got for the Aussie. Pound Aussie. Looking very naughty. What? All right, so let's see what we got here, guys. So as of right now, Pound Aussie, and we are on the higher time frames for sure. All right, but we are up here testing these higher levels up here on the daily and on the weekly time frame. We did end up just running even on this daily, you know, this little look right here, these highs right here. We did end up running this high as well, and we ended up closing it back below it. That could be very interesting. I like the fact that, you know, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with candlestick patterns, but there's 3 candlestick patterns that I really, really love. And now I'm getting really I'm not gonna get too saucy, right? You know, because there's different things that we have to focus on, guys, right? There's 3 different type of setups that I look for, all right, like actual setups. And there's also 3 different type of candlestick patterns that I look for. And there's also 3 types of entries that you can take based off these patterns, right? So there's a lot that I could really get into, but I'm not going to get into that just right now. It'll take me forever to actually break all that stuff down. But I will give you guys this, right? 3 candlestick patterns that I look for, right? That I love. All right. Now, again, these candlestick patterns, guys, have to happen near extreme levels, right? Either at extreme highs, extreme lows, after liquidity grabs, things like that, right? The first one is going to be the obvious, right? The most popular one for most people, which is the engulfing candlestick, right? That is my favorite, one of my favorites, right? The next candlestick is going to be the piercing candlestick, or the dark, I think it's called the dark moon cloud or some shit like that as well for the south. I don't even know. I just like to call it the piercing candlestick, right? And then we got our pin bar. All right, so these are my 3 go-to candlestick patterns, right? If I'm looking for entries, whenever I'm looking for entries in my key levels, this is usually what I'm looking for. I'm either looking for an engulfing pattern, a piercing candlestick pattern, or a pin bar pattern. Okay, this right here is considered a piercing, right? A piercing, guys, is similar to the engulfing, but it just doesn't engulf. It at least closes more than 50% though, right? A piercing candlestick, it closes more than 50% more than the previous candlestick, right? So if we look at, let's bring out our, fib tool just so we can measure 50%, right? So we're going to measure the body real quick, right? And as long as it closes below that 50% level, that is a piercing candlestick. All right, so let me actually go ahead and just hide a bunch of these fibs. I don't even use fibs like that no more, which is kind of crazy. I used to live or die by fibs. Like I'm talking about, I used to live or die by fibs. Good night, my son. Love you. I used to live or die by fibs. No kizzy. All right, so let's take a look at this, right? So the 50% of this daily candle is right here. All right, we did end up closing below that 50%, right? So that qualifies as a piercing candlestick, right? So I would be considering that as potentials to go to the upside. All right, so that's very interesting for sure, right? So again, these are the candlesticks that I look for, guys. Like I said, it could get very, very in-depth. And that's all stuff that I go in-depth on inside of the course, right? The 3 candlestick patterns, the 3 favorite setups that I like, the 3 candlestick patterns that I like, and the 3 entry techniques that I like. That's a bar, all right? That's going to be crazy. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. All right, but yeah, this is actually very interesting. So let's go lower time frame now and see where we're really at, see what we're doing here. All right, let's start really fine-tuning what we're looking at. So we did get, again, another nice little sweep of these highs up here. We grabbed buy-side liquidity and immediately closed back below and ended up closing with a nice engulfing in the next 4-hour candle. So I do like this, guys. I think there's a very good chance for, this market to continue going to the downside, right? But where can we look for it from? Well, I would love to see the market come back above this level right here. All right, I think we do got some buy-side liquidity right above this 1.816 level. So if we can get up to there, that's where I would really start to look for, some opportunities to then go ahead and go short on GBP AUD, right? Is it possible for it to reach all the way back up to these levels? I mean, it is, right? The market gonna do what it wants to do. Like I say that all the time because it's so true. A swipe at it above these highs, right? Depending on how we play above these highs up here, it could give us a potential play that we could take advantage of, right? I'm just looking at price action over here, guys, right? I'm trying to see if there's efficient or inefficient price action that we can take advantage of, and there's really not much crazy. Yeah, there's really not much too crazy, right? But yeah, this could be a potential play here for pound Aussie. And then we can target all the way back down to the lows. All the way, and we're talking about we can target all the way back down to these lows, right? We're talking about for 400 or 500 pips. All right, so that could be a play. Actually, I'm gonna give you guys 2 scenarios, right? And again, there's nothing wrong, guys, with having 2 scenarios, all right? At all, as long as they're both logical. Because this can also be, again, a potential play as well, where we actually end up going a little bit higher. All right, and The market wants to do a little bit more of grabbing liquidity, but probably just also balance out here with this little potential head and shoulders type of play, right? But yeah, I think these are the two areas, guys, that we can look for some entries from. I like it personally. I think there's a very good chance that they do end up playing from one of these levels, but I really just like the opportunity for this thing to go short, right? And so that's what I'll be looking for if I was trading a GBP AUD, something like that. And then if you can get an entry, you could ride this bad boy down, guys, for sure. If you can get an entry, though, that's the key word, right? If you can get an entry, ride that thing out. I think there's a very, very good chance for this thing to go and do its thing. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, let's see. Being around success makes being successful contagious. That is so true. Do you still use the MACD? I actually do, right? I actually do use the MACD, right? So I don't really have too many indicators. I don't really use too many indicators. I'll switch back and forth between naked charts completely, or adding a moving average into there, the 50-period moving average, right? I'll also change back and forth from the MACD to actual volume. But for the most part, everything I do is just raw price action, raw market structure, right? Like, that's really the main core thing, right? Like, even this little higher high indicator thing, like, that's just more there for visual perspective, not even just for me, right? But it's more so for you guys, so you guys can see what the hell is going on, right? But I love the MACD. Like, I don't know, I prefer MACD over volume any day of the week, right? Especially over the past few weeks, I've been testing volume out. I don't know. This tells me a lot more than what the volume indicator does, right? In my opinion, right? So I'm a big fan of the MACD. I love what it does. I love how it plays. I love the signs that it gives us. I love how you're able to read divergence, and you can see literally if there is momentum or not in a bunch of these plays. All right. So I mean, in fact, like, let's take a look at this GJ again, right, from this morning. All right. The reason why I love this GJ and why this GJ right here, I mean, the one that we just took, was actually pretty juicy, right? The reason why this one was actually pretty juicy, because if we look at the MACD, right, this ended up just creating a new low, right? We can see that, right? Ended up creating a new low, but look at the indicator. No volume behind that push, right? We had a lot of selling volume right here before we broke the lows, right? But then once we broke the lows and actually had to break a structure, there was no volume to confirm that move. Right, and that's when the market just ended up rebounding back to the upside, right? So you could really use, this as a phenomenal tool, guys, right? Even this GJ up here, right? Like, imagine you were able to get this entry up here. I think this is the entry that Skaggs got, right? But if we were looking at the indicator, look at this, right? So we had this high. Actually, let me just go ahead and do this, right? We have this high right here, bow, and then we had a higher high, right? We can see that, but look at the indicator. The indicator was already telling us that buying volume was slowing down. Like, look at this, right? There's way more volume at this peak than there was here, right? So, like, this type of divergence, guys, is powerful, right? Especially on the MACD. I don't know, on the MACD, the divergence hits a little different, right? So when you see this type of low volume, break of structure, and then it's, followed by our entry candlestick, the engulfing, oh, man. Yeah, that is all day long, right? No questions asked, guys. So that's why I love the MACD. I'm going to continue rocking with the MACD. I really don't care what anybody got to say about the MACD. It is an absolute powerful tool, especially when you know how to read it, for sure. All right, so that's where we're at with that. Let's go ahead and see what else we got here in the chat now. Gold. Yeah, we can take a look at gold really quickly as well. Let's bring up gold. So this is what I was looking at for gold earlier today. All right, I wanted to see more selling pressure here for gold, but we really didn't get like the actual move that I wanted to see. All right, like, I wanted to see gold rebound a little bit, right? Like, I wanted to see gold, go ahead and pull back some before we go ahead and see this next move lower. All right, and there's still a very good chance for that to happen, but as of right now, we haven't done much all day long here with gold, right? We've really just been accumulating for the past 2 days, right? Literally not doing much at all, just going sideways. But I do still want to see more selling pressure, right? Again, look at this favorite. It's my favorite play. It's my favorite play. Look it up here again, the candlestick play, right? The candle flip, right? Where we actually break previous day's high, but end up having so much selling pressure that we end up engulfing and we close much lower. So, yeah, I think there's a very good chance that we do continue seeing this thing go lower. I think there's a very good chance that we do see this thing go lower. I would just need to see some type of a pullback, though. Like, that's really my thing. I would love, and I don't even think we're going to get that pullback, right? Because this whole thing on the smaller time frame, guys, just looks like a whole entire range that's just showing more so like redistribution, right? Like the market is just, building up more liquidity, building up more orders, only for this thing to continue in the path down, right? That's what it looks like it wants to do based off these smaller time frames. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what happens. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this one. I'm actually going to keep my eyes on this because this could be something that we actually do end up playing. Stay woke. Let's see. Oh no. This looks interesting, guys. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like this, right? And this is, again, could happen literally any minute, right? Like, I would not be surprised by this. Again, keep in mind, we're on a 2-minute time frame right now, right? We are on the smaller bad boy. All right, this is a 2-minute. The 2-minute. All right. And this looks very interesting. I don't know. I might take a jab at it, right? I might take a jab at it, guys, above this 1773 level. If we can come here and just run this high real quick, get up into this range that we have up here, I think there's a good chance for us to go ahead and go, bearish from these, this kill zone up here. Yeah, it looks very interesting. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, so this is one we can keep our eyes on literally right now. All right, like really, like just keep our eyes on it, guys, throughout the rest of the stream, going into tonight. But that's really what I would like to see. A swipe of this 1773 up into that 1774 level is where I would be looking for some shorts. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. The more I look at it, the more I'm getting convinced on it. Yeah. I mean, even riding it right back down to these lows, too, is already a 4-to-1 risk to reward, which is not bad, right? If you're risking 1%, you're going for 4% gains, right? You're risking 2%, you're going for 8% gains, right? You're going for 4 times your risk just by simply riding it back down to these first initial lows. If this thing does what I think it could, then this thing could really lead to a much bigger drop, right? For a few hundred pips. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, we'll keep our eyes on this one, guys. I'm actually going to set an alert. Let me set this alert just in case. Just in case. Je m'appelle Abel. Just in case. Add that alert there. Perfect. All right, yeah, so we'll see how this plays out. All right, we'll see how this plays out for sure. All right, let's see what else we got here. CAD yen. Yeah, let's take a look at all that stuff. We could take a look at that for sure. All right, CAD yen. Let's see. Where are we at for CAD yen? I don't know. This thing looks bearish as hell. Yeah, this thing looks bearish in my opinion. Yeah, look at that previous week too. That's a big boy week closure. Yeah, this looks interesting. My guess, my opinion, that we continue going bearish. All right, my opinion, long term. Again, we are in the weekly, guys, right? So we're talking long term here, right? I don't want anybody to look at this and be like, oh, Abel said we're going bearish, let me just sell, right? No, we're on a weekly time frame, right? That's not to say we can't push back up. In fact, I truly believe we probably will push back up before we continue. But that's just looking at my bigger play here, right? I think there's a much higher likeliness of us actually continuing to the downside here, right? We have a lot of all this inefficient price action. We have all this liquidity that's being built up right here as well. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this, continuing to the downside for sure. All right, that's just my opinion. I think there's a good chance we continue going bearish. All right, let me go ahead and take a look at smaller time frame, see where we're actually at in terms of price, see if there's anything we could take advantage of right now or at least sometime in the future. I don't really see anything right now. This thing just looks like it's ready to go. Like, this thing looks like it's ready to go ahead and go bearish. All right, now we didn't really get no real, I mean, we got some smaller term breaks of these structure points. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing gets ready to actually go, guys, right? So for this one right here, for CAD yen, maybe up at these highs, you might be able to go ahead and look for some shorting opportunities, at least back down to the lows. All right, it could be something like this. Target back down to these lows. All this liquidity down here is being built up. All right, so yeah, I think there's a good chance for the market to run to these lows. So that's the setup that I personally would like. Now, again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's like the only thing that I'm really seeing that makes any type of sense for me right now for CAD yen. Maybe something like that. Let's see what else we got here. I missed you going over AU. I really didn't go over AU just yet. Let's see. I'm very bullish on the pound, in my opinion. Next week, we got the interest rate and CPI. Yeah, I mean, it's very possible, right? Mark going to do what he wants to do. I keep saying that because it's so true. Let's see. Even for GJ, I'm bullish. Have some positions open. 165. I shared it on the Profit Society. The monthly time frame speaks for itself, right? I mean, GJ is very interesting, right? Because GJ is, I would say, is torn between what it really wants to do, right? Because, daily time frame, I was bearish. Daily time frame, I was bullish. Weekly time frame, I'm bearish. And I ain't even look at the monthly. All right, but now that we're done with CAD yen, let's go back to GJ, right? Because I don't think I even looked at the monthly. I mean, it's really not doing too much. Let me look at a different GJ without the markings on it. Yeah, it's not doing too much. Yeah, it's really not doing too much. We're pretty much just chilling for right now. But I will say you this. If we end up running this low, though, it is curtains. Right? Like, if we run this low right here, then say bye-bye to GJ. All right? Like, if we run this low, then, which I think is very possible, then, oh, my God. Yeah, we're definitely probably going to continue. Probably at least back to this little level right here. Possibly even more. All right? Again, keep in mind, guys, this is the weekly time frame, right? So this is much bigger time frame, but yeah, I don't know. I still like the selling pressure for this one. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, time will tell. We'll see how the market does play out for sure. Let's see. What is your bread and butter pair to trade every single day? Right. That's a good question, DJ. And I mean, everything right here, I'm liable to go ahead and take some plays on. All right. If you would ask me what my favorite is, my favorite was EURUSD for the longest. GJ was also one of my favorites for the longest. I'm talking about for years, like 5 years or so, right? It's been a while. But my favorite has to probably be, I really like gold. Right, like I've really been a gold fan lately, right? Like a big fan of gold. So if I were to answer your question and say my go-to is any of these that have the best looking setup, but my favorite is probably going to be gold. All right, and that just leads into another bar that I got for you guys today, right? Another gem. Okay, as you grow as a trader. All right, before I even get into that, let me go ahead and just break down, guys, currency pairs and you know, what you could do, right? Because obviously there's a lot of different people saying, yo, focus on one pair, focus on two, focus on a bunch, right? Where for me, I understand the power of truly focusing on just a couple pairs, right? Because these currency pairs, guys, they all have their own different personalities, right? So if you're able to study 1, 2, 3 pairs, 100% you could become a master of just those few pairs and make a shit ton of money. All right, it's very possible, right? And in fact, that's probably what I recommend a lot of newer traders do. But even then, as you grow and as you get better as a trader, you're gonna go from focusing on pairs to focusing on setups. Like, what is your favorite setup? What is your go-to setup, right? One thing that I love that Ray says, right? Shout out to that boy Wall Street Ray, right? He always talks about his one motto, you know, any pair, anytime, right? And the reason why he says that, any pair, anytime, and he's very comfortable taking any pair, is because he's mastered a setup, right? A specific setup that happens on every single pair across the board, right? So it's very possible, guys, for, yeah, you can make $1 million just trading 1 or 2 pairs by learning those personalities. But you can also make $1 million trading by mastering a setup, right? And then you can have that any pair, anytime type of mentality as well, and not be stuck with only a couple pairs, right? Because what happens if those pairs are not moving, all right? What happens if those pairs ain't doing shit, right? Then you're out of trade. Come on, go, little brat. All right, so that's just something to think about, all right? Again, there's no wrong way to do it. You know, again, it's cool. It's powerful to just focus on a couple pairs and just master those. But I think it's also very powerful to master a setup. All right, like, what is your go-to setup? What is your go-to play? What exactly do you like looking for? Right? And then you can really see that on any chart, any pattern, any currency, any commodity, anything that you trade. So I hope that made sense. But that was a good question, DJ VIP. I hope I answered it for you, though. What MACD is it you're using? This is just the regular default MACD. All right, nothing crazy about this MACD. It's the regular default. Abel, comparing MACD to RSI, I'm still perfecting my entries with the RSI. Do you think MACD is better? Just wanting an extra opinion. I mean, the thing that I like about, I mean, they're both valuable tools, right? You know, the RSI, I literally used to look and, you know, I'm not going to say depend on it, but I used to love the RSI as well because it does similar things to, you know, what I was just talking about in terms of the MACD, right? With divergence and things like that. I just like MACD because you're able to actually see like these volume bars, right? Like, you can actually see the volume decreasing, right? Like, actually seeing the volume. I just like the fact that we can actually see the volume bars decreasing, right? And that's why I prefer the MACD over the RSI. I just love that visual of how it looks. Now, again, keep in mind, guys, though, when you guys see your guys' MACD, it's not going to look like mine, right? It's going to have a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to have all these. It's going to look something like this, right? I kind of just messed mine up, but it's all good, right? It takes 2 seconds to fix, right? So yours is going to look like this with all these different moving averages and stuff. I just take all that stuff off, right? Like, I take that off. I take the MACD line off. I don't care about none of that. I just care about the colors, right? And then I go ahead and just change my colors to the way that I like them. My red and white candlestick, and bam, there you go, right? But let's see. Gold is king. Love from Pakistan. What's going on, Assad? I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please take a look at AUD USD. Yeah, I got y'all. I'll take a look at it next for sure. Right. But before I even get into that, family, right, I do want to go ahead and do a little quick promo. Right. If you guys have not seen in the chat, all right, we do have a 50% off. Right. So we are actually, I'm in the process, guys, of, you know, it's not getting rid of, but I'm in the process of actually doing my entire A through Z course. This is going to be the most in-depth course of my freaking life. All right, like, by far. And with this course, it's going to really just give y'all everything, right? But because I'm launching the course, because we're launching the Profit Society, I'm actually running a promo for anybody that's interested, right, that hasn't purchased my 5-day bootcamp just yet. And this promo is a goodbye sale, right? So the 5-day ProTrader Bootcamp, family, right, that a lot of you guys have took advantage of already, and I appreciate all you guys that are part of it, you know, that have been rocking with me. You know, again, everybody that originally purchased it is getting grandfathered into my full course, all right? Anybody that originally purchased it, all right, you are all getting grandfathered into my full course, and I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Just as a thank you for you guys supporting me, showing love, and investing into yourselves, you guys get my full course for free just because of that, right? But for those of you guys that have not purchased it just yet, I'm just saying, now's the time to get it, all right? It's 50% off, guys, right? We're talking about, this is a steal of a lifetime, all right? There's people on this in this chat right now that paid more, but they also get a lot more added perks to it too. Like, they get grandfathered into my course, all right? So it kind of like, you know, plays itself out, right? So if you guys are interested, and if you're serious about your trading, and if you want to take your trading to the next level, take advantage of this, guys, right? We're talking about literally 50% off, right? So let me go ahead and show you guys really quick, right? So it's literally going to the ProTraderBootcamp.com. ProTraderBootcamp.com. I gotta do this promo, family. All right, and right here, it'll break down everything. All right, it'll literally break down everything. Right, a little bit about me, a little bit about my journey. You know, obviously, as you guys can see, I done spoke in numerous stages in numerous different countries. You know, teaching people how to trade live, and it's just one of my favorite things to do. But yeah, you know, you guys can come here. Original price was $325. Slice that in half. All right, let me show you out. Let me show y'all what the price is now. Right, $325 divided by 2. That's definitely didn't work out. 325. Where's my division number? Divided by 2. That is the price of it now. Wow. Again, that is a steal. Right now, it doesn't come with all the perks that everybody that originally purchased it comes with, but it does still come with a bunch of perks, right? So for anybody that's serious, guys, we're talking about paying $162 for an in-depth 5-day boot camp. All right, literally going in-depth on all of these topics. All right, and it would definitely give you a very, very, very good start to your trading career, or it will enhance where you're already at in your trading career. All right, so I'm telling you right now, take advantage of it, guys. You know, coupon code. The coupon code is goodbye. All right, coupon code is goodbye. All right, as a goodbye, because after this week, there's gonna be no more. All right, you're not gonna be able to go to the website and get it no more. Right, it's all gonna be added onto my course. It's gonna be like an additional section on my course. I'm actually gonna be adding both of the boot camps that I hosted, right, all on the course as well. So that's gonna be dope. But yeah, you know, coupon code goodbye for anybody that's serious. You know, take advantage of it, guys. 50% off, literally only for the next 72 hours. Right, so take advantage of it, man. Again, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You know, everybody that already took, you know, the actual boot camp, they can all attest how much value is in this thing. All right, a shit ton of value is in this boot camp, guys. Right, so again, coupon code goodbye for 50% off. Right, it is all online. Right, it is pre-recorded videos. Right, it's a video series that I pre-recorded from a live boot camp that I actually did at the beginning of the year. All right, so again, coupon code goodbye. Go take advantage of that. 50% off. You can't beat it. It's next level. Honestly, it's going to be the best $160 you ever spent. I can guarantee you that. All right, so let's go take a look at AU now that we got promo time done. Let's go take a look at this market and see what we got here, guys, right? So again, this is similar to what I'm thinking about a lot of these, you know, pairs that are ending in USD. I'm bearish, right? I think the dollar, guys, is about to find its stride. Right, and start really seeing a lot more bullish momentum again. And just looking how we're playing around these levels right here, yeah, I think there's a very, very good chance that we go ahead and continue rolling over to the downside. All right, again, look at this candlestick. It's like this candlestick is everywhere, right? Look at the one, right? Look at the flip, the candle flip. And it's like all these daily candlesticks are all, like all these daily time frames, guys, got my candle flip here, right? But this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. All right, initially, this daily candle, guys, was above the previous day's highs. But there was so much selling pressure that entered the market, right? Once they grabbed liquidity above these previous day highs, this thing just fell like a bag of bricks, right? That is my flip. I love that. That's my go-to entry, my go-to pattern that I love to see. All right, so yeah, that's telling me that there's a good chance that we do see more downside here, guys, for AUD USD. I'm a big fan of selling this thing. I think we do see a lot more selling pressure come in, and we have a lot of liquidity that we could potentially target. All right, so we have all this liquidity right there. We did have another little candle flip down here at this level, so we gotta be mindful of that. You know, we could see the market do something like this, go ahead and run this low, come down to this level, and then give us a nice little reaction back up, but only for it to go ahead and continue to the downside, right? That would be my best guess that I think AUD USD can do, right? But you know, again, I just don't want to discount this flip right here that we've seen, right? There's probably gonna be a lot of liquidity down here in these levels, right? So I think there's a good chance for this thing to continue going bearish. Yeah, I truly do. Right, so let's go take a look at this on smaller time frames now, guys. See what we're looking at. See if there's anything we could take advantage of here. All right, so we did get a nice little, I mean, that's nothing too crazy, but we did get a nice little, you know, run of this little buy side liquidity. I don't even know if I like that too much. Let's see. If I am looking for some shorts, it's probably going to be up here at these levels. All right, if I am looking for some shorts, guys, which I am. All right, or at least I would be. It'll definitely have to be above here. Why? Well, what are we looking at? Again, we're on a 5-minute time frame now. There's my candle switch right there. There's my flip. Look at the bearish candlestick. All right, we end up closing. You know, we ran above these 5-minute highs. Retested back into structure, order block right there, hit that order block, and then this thing just started to tank. All right, so just that flip alone tells me that there's a lot of liquidity in this area. So I think there's a very good chance if, and again, I'm not sure if we're gonna make it back up there, right? You know, because we did just see a very nice sell-off, but if we were to make it back up there, this could be a very interesting play here. Very interesting play, right? And this is one that we could yeah, this could be a big boy, right? It could turn into, you know, a intraday, and this could be into a big boy scalp, right? So I really like this one. There's a lot of setups forming, family. There's a lot of setups forming. A lot, right? You know, including this, right? This could be a very possible play here, you know, for AUD USD. You know, put stops right above the high if you wanted to. And if this thing goes down to that last area that I was talking about, I mean, this is a banger. Look at this risk to reward. All right, we're talking about 16 to 1 risk to reward. 16 to 1. Insane. Now, I do want to give you guys a different area, right? Because I'm not really a big fan, I'll be honest, right? I'm not really a big fan of selling down here at these levels just because of, you know, we're in discounted pricing, right? I don't like selling in discounted pricing, right? Which, again, you know, discounting versus premium pricing is actually something I spoke about in the boot camps, but I also go a little bit more in depth during my actual course on that. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy, right? But just know, there is a very good chance, guys, that we do come and fill out this inefficiency as well, right? So there is a chance, you know, for the market to come up to here, and then from there, you know, we'll just take another stab at it, right? If that's what happens, right? You know, we'll just, you know, take another stab and just see what the market gives us. Right, even that is still going to give us a very good risk reward as well. You know, if we're able to see, yeah, it could give us a. I mean, if we keep stops at the high, it's still a nice 6.5, 7-to-1 risk reward. So that's still another banger. So, you know, these are some outlooks that you can have here, guys, for AUD USD, and see how it plays out. Let's see what else we got here. Shout out to that boy Oscar. I appreciate you tuning in, bro. Let's see. Can we get this video to at least 50, 100%, guys? Let's go ahead and get to 100 likes, guys. We need 9 more likes, right? If you guys gotten some type of value so far, right? If you guys gotten any type of value, go ahead and smash the like for your boy. I appreciate y'all for doing that, man. It definitely means a lot to me. All right, but definitely go ahead and you know, smash that like button for sure. Uh-oh. Alert is up. Let's look at gold. Let's keep our eyes on this gold. Da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na. Let me go ahead and take another quick look at this. This is the same thing with AUD USD, guys, right? Like, I see it. I don't know. I'm not a fan. Like, I'm probably not gonna take this, right? I'm gonna let it. I'm gonna leave it up, right, just so we can see how it reacts. But I'm not gonna take this, right? And the reason for it is because it goes against my plan. right? I do not like selling in discounted price points, right? What's the difference between discounted and premium? All right, it was depending on how we're looking at it, right? If I'm saying, this is my swing low, swing high, and this is my trade, this is my range right here, my trading range, right? Swing high to swing low. I need to get, if I'm looking for sales, I want to sell at a premium, right? I want to sell at a premium, right? I don't like selling at a discount, right? That's just me. I don't like selling at discounts. I like selling at a premium. And premium pricing, guys, is above the 50% here. Oh, crap. I got this big ass like the videos thing. Hold on, guys. My fault. I didn't even mean to leave that right in the middle of the screen. I did not mean to leave that in the middle of the screen. You guys are probably like, yo, Abel, bro. We get it. Like the video. I apologize, y'all. All right, there we go. There we go. So, like I was saying, I'm probably not going to take this. I'm going to watch it with you guys just so we can see it in real time. But again, I really don't like where we're at, right? I would need to see price come back up higher into the premium price levels, which is going to be above the 50% level. Because then when we get into a premium level, see, then we're able to get far better risk rewards, far better opportunities for sure. All right, so I'm going to sit my hands on it. But like I said, we will watch it to see how it plays out. I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I'm not taking this, right? Full transparency, guys. I'm not taking this trade. All right, it's just, it doesn't follow my personal rules, right? But I'm interested, and I would not be surprised if we still see something, like this, right? At least to bring us back down to these lows, right? But it's just not a step that I'm going to be taking. All right, it's not a step that I'm going to be taking. Let's see. What's good, What's going on? Bet you. How you feeling? Let's see what else we got here. How you feel about ETH? We'll get into cryptos in a second. Let's see. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate how you break these pairs down and map the liquidity across different time frames. Very helpful. Oh, yeah. I appreciate that as well. Let's see. Can we get this video out of ETH? Yep. Yeah, time will tell. I do see why you would look for sales. You anticipate Bank of Japan rumors. I'm playing the pound rumors. Yeah. You got to play the rumors when it comes to fundamental. Let's see. Bro, you just dropped a gem. It's the setup, not the pair. That is a gem. No kizzy. Let's see. I appreciate you guys as well for getting me over 100 likes. It means a lot. Thank y'all. Let's see. GJ looking good to sell from 166. I could take a look at that as well. Hello. And if I buy above, where's my stop loss will be? Yeah, we'll take a look at that as well. The Dixie is about to go back to safe haven status. Today, the banking chiefs can a lot of doubts on the near future. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot, right? There's a lot of uncertainty in the markets, guys. That's for damn sure. All right. And I think that the dollar will definitely come back and, start to dominate again. I truly believe that is very, very possible for sure. But I want you guys to watch. If you guys are not following Meet Kevin, I really want you guys to start following Meet Kevin on YouTube. Just because he really does break down, guys, a lot of the insight for the Fed, a lot of fundamental outlooks that we can utilize in trading. He actually goes in depth on this stuff, right? So if you guys are not following this channel, right, which he doesn't have as many subscribers as me, but he's still pretty lit, right? I got way more subscribers than this guy, but he's pretty lit. Sight, this dude is a savage, right? He got almost 2 million subs, right? But yeah, this video right here, guys, is very interesting, right? I actually was watching this one earlier today. Critical, forgetting, Fed danger, right? So ones like these videos right here, he actually breaks down, guys, exactly what the hell is happening in the space, how investors are interpreting it, and all that good stuff, right? So I highly recommend you guys to start watching me, Kevin, right? And just look at the videos that he drops that is talking about the Fed and anything to do with the economy and things like that, right? Even this video right here was pretty insightful, right? Inflation is plummeting, deflation is coming, right? So things like this, guys, like this one right here, they're coming massive. These are all powerful videos, right? Jerome Powell flips again. He really breaks down all of the news releases too, in depth, all the news reports. He actually literally goes and reads them all in depth, right? So, if you want to get better with fundamentals, this is a guy that really is very, very active with it. All right, so let's see what else we got here. I think gold will continue to sell off as long as interest rates and bond yields continue to rise. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, as long as we've been, I mean, again, just look at it, right? I love to do this with gold just to show you guys the correlation, you know, from interest rates going up and what gold has done, right? You know, ever since interest rates started going up, that's exactly when gold, you know, started to go lower, right? So, yeah, you know, as long as the Fed is hawkish, which they are, right? The Fed is very hawkish. The Fed is still planning on raising rates. Even though next week they're planning on raising rates, they're going to lower by how much they're going to raise rates, right? They're going to go from 75 basis points down to 50. They're still raising rates, right? Like, just because they're lowering by how much they're raising does not change the fact that they're still raising rates, right? So as long as they're still raising rates, we should still expect a lot more risk-off sentiment, right? A lot of risk-off sentiment is still the play, right? It's been the play that we've been playing all year long, guys. I mean, I think I started streaming live with you guys over here on YouTube back in March. And since March, I've been telling you guys every single thing that was going to happen, right? I was telling you guys in terms of from a fundamental perspective, how the dollar is going to react, how gold is going to react, how these currencies react to various interest rate decisions, right? Like, we've been talking about all this stuff, right? So it's not new. But yeah, I 100% agree. I think we are going to go back to that risk-off sentiment, right? Risk-off sentiment is pretty much going to favor, you know, the safe havens. All right, the safe havens are going to be the DXY, right? And the reason why it's the DXY, guys, because really the safe haven is more so like government bonds, right? Government bonds is usually like, quote unquote, what they call the safest investment one can make, right? You know, that's what they like to say, right? But the reason why the dollar benefits from that is because in order to purchase government bonds, you got to purchase the dollar, right? So, you know, I think this risk-off sentiment is definitely going to favor the safe havens, guys, which in my opinion, and just based off how we looked at it this year, the only real safe havens that we have had is the dollar and government bonds. All right, and the only reason why government bonds is a safe haven is because you can't lose, right? Like, it's like you can't lose on a government bond, right? So yeah, you know, things like gold, which gold was always traditionally a safe haven, has not been a safe haven this year, right? The Japanese yen has not been a safe haven. The Swiss franc, I can't even tell you the last time I even looked at the Swiss franc. Let's take a look at that. Right? Even the Swiss franc really hasn't done too much. Yeah, you could consider the Swiss franc still as a safe haven, right? Because there was only a few majors, right? There was always the dollar, the Japanese yen, gold, and the Swiss franc were always considered the safe havens, right? But gold and the Japanese yen has not acted like that. The Swiss franc at least was able to maintain its value, right? In fact, we had a little bit of a, you know, sell-off right here, but for the most part, it still maintained it a little. It's not as drastic like the dollar yen was, right? Like, this is drastic, right? You know, so yeah, that's just my thoughts and opinions on that. I think risk-off is definitely going to be continuously the way to go. As long as we are hawkish, we need to continue to expect a lot more risk-off sentiment for sure. Let's see. Let's see. All right, let's go back to GJ. All right, so where are we at for GJ? So this is where we're at for GJ. This thing actually came very close to my, not too close to my stop loss, right? But I already got an entry for GJ right here, guys. This is one that we actually spoke about this morning's New York session stream, because we do go live for New York session, not on this YouTube channel, but on my Profit Society YouTube channel. Make sure to go follow that if you guys are not following that at all. But we will be live again tomorrow for New York session to execute with you guys. So make sure to be a part of that, right? But this is a trade, guys, that we had initially talked about this morning that ended up getting triggered later on today, and I'm still in this, right? We ended up getting close to my stop at break even, but we didn't do it. I think there's a good chance that I'm pretty much safe now, right? So I'm going to be riding that out. Now, in terms of what's next, I'm going to be looking for the sell, all right? So I'm only going to be riding it out until the 166.8. But once we get up into that 166.9, you know, that's where I'm going to be looking for some more selling pressure to come in, right? So then go ahead and potentially send us a little bit lower, right? So that's my personal opinion here on GJ. I could be wrong, right? But it is what it is if I am. I really don't care if I'm wrong or not, right? But that's what I'll be looking for. That's how I'm going to be playing going into tonight for sure. All right, let's see what else we got here. If I buy above 166.936, if you buy above that, I don't know. I wouldn't. If you, and again, this is just if you did buy above that what would you say, 166.936, you would probably have to. I don't even know. That's not even gonna be unless we get something like that's still a little bit too premature to even give an answer on, right? Because if we end up coming above here, I'm gonna be looking for the sells personally, right? But if we come up here and you want to look for some buys, like it depends on what structure is formed, right? Because if we don't get no structure formed up here, then we can't. I mean, there's really not much that we can use in terms of stop loss, right? You can't put your stop loss down here. Technically, you can, but that's way too far, right? Down here, that's way too far, right? So we'll still need to see more structure being built up, you know, before we can even talk about things like that, right? But that's just my opinion on that. All right, let's see. How do certain media outlets be knowing of assets that rich individuals be investing in? I heard certain outlets speak on stocks owned or recently bought by rich people. Just how do they know? That's a good question, right? I really don't know, right? I mean, I think a lot of these are hedge. I don't know. That's a good question. Are hedge funds public record? I don't think hedge funds are public record. Yeah, I don't think hedge funds are public record, right? I don't think you can actually go in and like see what a lot. I think some are. I don't know. That's a good question though. I really don't be knowing. Let's see. Are you really convinced of the Powell speech being dovish? You did talk about we could see a rumor of pivot before election. I'm pretty convinced that they're gonna do a 50 basis point rate hike next week, which could be considered. I don't know. I don't even consider that as dovish, right? Again, what I'm considering as dovish, guys, right? When we see a Fed that is dovish, that means that they are lowering rates, right? Like actually lowering rates, like going from 5% we're at now to start lowering it to 3%, 2%, right? 1%, whatever the case may be. So even if they do raise it by 50 basis points, that's not necessarily them being dovish, right? That's just them, you know, loosening it up by how much they were tightening, right? But that's not dovish, right? Dovish is when they actually U-turn, right? When they actually start lowering rates completely. But I would be shocked if we do not come out at a 50 basis point rate hike tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but next week. I would be shocked, right? Like I would be extremely shocked. Let's see. It's gonna be funny if they did 75, then it's gonna be crazy. That would definitely and this is the thing with the Fed, guys. You have to understand, right? Like Jerome Powell right now, like he's teeter-tottering with borderline crazy recession and a soft landing, right? Like as of right now, this is tough. It's tough to explain, right? Because I always try to like explain things, guys, in a way that most people can understand, right? Because when you get like into this deep fundamental talk, it's gonna go over a lot of your guys' head, right? And that's when you guys start to turn off, and and so I try to like dumb down things as much as possible, right? But the thing is, if Jerome Powell does do another 75 basis point rate hike, that is pretty much going to confirm a for sure recession, in my opinion. Even though we've been saying that we've been in a recession since months ago, that's when I believe they will finally be like, all right, yo, you know what? 75 basis point, we're probably going to have to push, the economy into a recession in order for them to try to actually get inflation down pat. So I don't think they want to do that, right? I don't think they want to actually do 75 basis points because it's probably going to push the economy into a recession. And that's what they've been trying to avoid, right? And just give me 1 second, family. All right, you want to listen? Here. There. Wow. All right. So, like I was saying, let's see what else we got here. What's good, Abel? Long-time student from D-Lo Nation. Always great to hear you drop your value. What's going on? Okay, Trev, I appreciate you tuning in. Let's get it. Let's see. Regardless of the 50, we're going to see after effect next year, CPI will increase. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how the market does end up playing out for sure. All right. Let's see. How do you get that indicator? So just type in market structure indicator. Right? It's a market structure indicator. My girl, can I focus? Like, I get you up here because you wanted the headphones. Now you up here and now you you don't want it? All right, so get off me. Get off me. All right. Back to what I was saying now, right? No. Let's see. US 30. We could take a look at that. All right, let's take a look at that real quick, right? And then we'll take a look at, I think, ETH. Let's take a look at ETH first, actually, right? Because ETH was called out first, you know, and since Jaquez over here supported the channel, anything Jaquez wants, he gets priority, all right? So big shout out to you, bro. But let's go ahead and see this Ethereum, all right, and see what we got here for ETH. All right, so I'm very interested in these cryptos, guys. I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? I would not be surprised. And again, this could be, you know, speaking prematurely, but I would not be surprised if these are actually the lows, like the actual lows of this bear market that we've been in. Like, I would not be surprised, right? In fact, again, we spoke about this the other day, you know, just using, you know, the stock to flow model for Bitcoin, right? Which has accurately predicted every single move on Bitcoin for a while now, right? But if you guys look at this, when was the last time we bottomed out, right? Which, guys, keep in mind, guys, whenever Bitcoin bottoms out, the entire crypto market bottoms out, right? It's like Bitcoin is the granddaddy of all, right? But if you look at this, anytime we've come to the green, which for those of you guys that don't know how to read this, right? This just pretty much is a model that shows how price reacts, comparing it to each Bitcoin halving that happens, right? So around every 4 years or every 210,000 blocks that are actually mined, a halving occurs, right? Where they cut the reward that miners get in half, right? So just for an example, right? If right now, in order, you know, the reward for mining one block is just say 1 Bitcoin to keep it, you know, simple terms, right? Say I was to mine an entire block, right? Or me and a bunch of people, we mined an entire block, right? The reward for that block for us mining it is a full Bitcoin. Once the halving comes and it happens, it cuts the reward in half, right? So now instead of me getting a full Bitcoin for mining that block, right? Now I'm only getting half of a Bitcoin, which causes the demand for Bitcoin to absolutely shoot through the roof. Right, so that's what the halving is, right? It's every 210,000 blocks it occurs, or every quote-unquote 4 years it happens. But if we look at this, when does it actually bottom out? Right, every time we've gotten to like this green level, every single halving is bottomed out, right? So back in 2012, right, we had the halving in 2012. This thing bottomed out at the green, and then it shot up, right? That was the first bull run. Well, the second bull run. Then we had the bear market, right, in 2015. Green came, which means we're around 400 to 500 days away from the halving. It bottomed out, right? Then we had the next bull run. Then we had a bear market, right? Same thing, green, around 400 or 500 days away. It bottoms out and goes up. Guys, what color are we in? What color are we in right now? Let's see. Very interesting what Skaggs is saying regarding crypto. What's your thoughts? I mean, me and Skaggs are very similar when it comes to our thoughts on cryptos for sure. Right? Skaggs is the one that actually introduced me to cryptos. Like, believe it or not, right? He put me on the cryptos, guys, back in like 2016, 2017. Right? Skaggs is the one that really exposed me. I've seen it a lot on social media even before Skaggs, but Skaggs is the one like, yo, bro, you need to buy this. Right? He's like, yo, bro, you need to buy this. All right? Like I think Skaggs actually put up a... Let me see if I can find it, because this is actually pretty interesting, right? Skaggs actually showed me a post that I created back in 2017, you know, upset that I didn't actually purchase when he told me to purchase it, right? Let me see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that post, right? But yeah, so I'm very much on the same thing, right? I truly do believe we could be at this point, guys, where we're starting to bottom out here for crypto, right? So I'm buying all day long now, right? I'm accumulating. Now, again, do not get confused with buying on MT4, MT5, buying on margin, and buying to invest long term, right? I'm buying to invest long term, okay? But just know we are at that point where we're about to bottom out. Next thing you know, we're about to be, above $100,000 Bitcoin. For Ethereum, same concept, right? If Bitcoin is bottoming out, then we should eventually see Ethereum start to fly again. I could realistically see, guys, easily a $15,000 Bitcoin in this next bull run, right? 15K for Ethereum. I mean, not Bitcoin, right? 15K for Ethereum. Ethereum right now is only $1,200, right? Only $1,200. So if this goes to 15,000, right? Just think about the percentage returns, guys, right? So again, you guys are exposed to it early on, right? Like right now, I'm telling you guys right now, all right, that we're probably gonna start bottoming out. I just sent you guys the website as well, so you guys keep track on this, right? Because this is probably the most accurate tool by far that we've been able to see, and it's been working, all right? And I think there's a good chance that we finally start to bottom very, very soon, and then we eventually start to fly. I think the year 2023, like all 2023, guys, is pretty much just gonna be us very, very choppy, very range bound. Right, like 2023 in my opinion, for cryptos is probably gonna look something like this, right? Like very choppy, and then eventually we'll go ahead and find our way. All right, so I'm buying right now, and I'm buying all through 2023, all through 2024, and then hopefully by 2025 I'm a billionaire, and I own Pip Island somewhere. All right, like I own Pip Island, I own Profit Society Island, I own Wealthy Visions Island. Like I owned every single island I can come by, just because we rich, right? So just keep that in mind. Let's see. Also, I don't know if you've been hearing a lot of big holders of cryptos and getting killed. Yeah, I actually seen like there's I think 3 to 4 different crypto billionaires that actually got killed over the past few weeks, which has definitely been everywhere, right? So I heard the headline. I seen the headline. It's very interesting for sure. All right, but that is gonna be scary for sure. He must have been 2 feet tall. Yeah, Jay, you're hilarious. Oh man. See, considering China's current issues with COVID restrictions, do you see the aspect of trades, import, and exports causing U.S. to follow suit of a stronger possibility for a recession? That's actually a very good, very, very good question. Shout out to that boy Jonathan as well, man. I appreciate you, my brother. Right, but that is a very good question, right? And that could definitely bring some strain on us as well, right? And could also influence us when it comes to going into an actual deeper recession, right? Because right now, everything that's happening in China, guys, is like a big deal, right? Like we're talking about, like they have crazy lockdowns, right? They have this crazy COVID policy where like everybody's pretty much locked up, like they're locked in, like they're literally closing people and locking people in their houses, in their homes, without no type of property, no equipment, right? And a lot of people are not liking it, right? So there's a lot of shit going on over there in China, right? With everything to do with COVID, with all these lockdowns, with all these riots. And you best believe that's going to affect us, right? That's going to affect us, right? Because what was one of the biggest issues, guys, that actually caused inflation to get to the point that it was? All right, who knows the answer for this, right? What was the cause of inflation being so high? Like the main cause, right? I know a lot of you guys are going to give the one answer, but just know there's another answer. What was the main cause for inflation? All right. Yeah, COVID had a big playing into it, right? But it's not even necessarily COVID. It's what COVID caused, right? That really caused inflation to go crazy. All right, I see China, stimulus checks, inflation was high because the Fed printed money. All those stuff definitely added into it, right? It added into it for sure, right? They flooded the markets with money. Yeah, they added into it for sure, right? But one of the biggest reasons, there we go, Maria, the fact that goods were being held at sea in their containers. Yes, guys, right? Because of COVID and the whole shutdown, the whole lockdowns that they were, it really strained supply chains. And that strain on supply chains is what really caused the demand for everything to go up because nobody can get shit. So because of the supply chain strains, it caused the demand just to go through the roof, which obviously caused inflation to follow suit and go through the roof. right? So it was more so the supply chain issues. It's a combination, but the supply chain issues, guys, is like the one thing that truly ended up fueling it, because nobody can get shit, which caused demand for everything to increase, right? With a lack of supply, but increased demand, that's basic supply and demand, right? It's going to cause everything to increase in value, and that's exactly what happened, right? So yeah, it was very interesting to see how that played out. But that just ties back into this whole thing with China now. If China does lock things down, right? Like, let's say they do a whole countrywide lockdown, right? And they shut down all these different factories and warehouses and stuff that is supplying probably 70% of the shit in the world. Everything is made in China, right? That is just going to add a lot more strain to our supply chains again, which is definitely not going to help with inflation. All right, so yeah, that's going to have a massive, massive effect on us for sure, depending on what happens over there in China. So that's a great point, Eric. It really is. Or not Eric, but Jonathan, bro, I appreciate you. That was a great point for sure. Yo, Abel, let me chill at your island. 100%. You guys are all valid at my island. Let's see. Bull run in 2024 when Trump gets into office. I think we're going to be in a bull run in 2024 no matter who's in office. Right? No matter who's in office, it's going to be a bull run. All right, so let's see. Are you expecting crypto to become regulated, and what does that really mean? I mean, I do believe, I think crypto is eventually going to get regulated for sure. I think they have to, right? Especially with this whole thing with FTX and what that Fruit Cup SBF did, right? Sam Bankman-Fried or Sam Bankman-Fraud, right? What he did is what he pretty much just really solidified them being a lot more aggressive with regulations. Well, we're going to get regulations regardless, right? But now more than ever. The biggest thing that I think a lot of people are not realizing, and what a lot of people really need to focus on now, is the whole situation with XRP, right, with Ripple. Because that situation with them and what's happening with them against the SEC, that's really what's going to really dictate on what type of regulations some of these cryptos are going to get, right? Because the whole argument right now with the SEC is trying to determine whether Ripple is considered a security or not. Right? Is it a security, or is it more so just a regular asset, right? Because if it's a security, see, then it's going to be regulated through the SEC, and it's going to have a whole shit ton of regulations on top of that. So this is the thing that a lot of people are not looking at and not understanding, guys, right? If XRP loses this battle and they become classified as a security because the SEC won the lawsuit and now they're classified as security, that's going to affect 99% of coins that we have out here in this day. Like 99% of the cryptos out there in this space are going to be affected by that, because now they're going to be treated as securities instead of just regular, regular assets, right? Like a gold, regular commodities, right? Because there's a difference between a commodity and a security, right? They're regulated differently, right? So everybody, like, people need to start focusing on this whole shit with XRP more than anything, right? Because whatever happens there, it's going to really lead to a lot of stuff happening across the board. All right, so yeah. Let's see. Did you say how to get the to get that indicator? Just type up market structure. Is this one right here? Right, market structure by Leviathan. Leviathan. Market structure by Leviathan. That's that right there. Market structure by Leviathan. I'm about to make my own one, actually. I'm gonna make my own indicator for you guys, so you guys can find it on my own. It's gonna be pretty dope. All right, let's see. Feel like SBF was a plant. He could have been. Shit, he could have been. No cap. Like, he really did some funny stuff. He really did. Let's see. Well, question that has to do with trading psychology. What was your aha moment? The moment you figured I need to do this, not to stay profitable. Oh, that's a great question, right? So I think that's a very. I think I had a bunch of different aha moments, right? Like aha moments in the markets for sure. But I think one of the biggest ones, I'm trying to think, right? Because like I said, I had a whole bunch. I think my biggest aha moment, damn, I'm trying to think of some good ones, right? Because like I said, I had a bunch. I think my biggest aha moment was, and this is just taking it back to the beginning, right? Was literally just getting that first withdrawal. I think that first withdrawal, guys, really just hits a little different, you could say, right? For anybody that has gotten a withdrawal, I'm pretty sure you guys can feel the same. Just because like that first withdrawal, guys, it really just shows that this thing is real, right? Because like when you really get into trading and when you really get into this space, especially Forex, how it, even though it's been around forever, it really just became popular over the last 10 years. You don't know if it's real or not, right? Like you can see people talking about it and doing it, but when you start making those withdrawals yourself, it really does hit a little different. So I think my biggest aha moment was getting that actual first withdrawal, just because it showed what's possible. Now, like I said, I had a whole bunch of different aha moments after that, but I think that was like the biggest one, right? The biggest deciding factor when I'm like, yo, this shit's real. It hit my bank account. Oh, damn. Let me lock in, right? Let me take this serious. All right, yeah. I think that's the biggest one for me for sure. Right, but family, besides that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up with that tonight. I do appreciate y'all. It has been a phenomenal stream. We went for a longer than I was expecting, but that's what happens, right? So overall, I do appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me today. In terms of trades, just catch me in the morning, guys, for New York session. On the Profit Society YouTube channel. We will be live around 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to provide you guys with some gems, some execution gems. And it's going to be dope to really see, how the market plays out going into the morning. All right. But for me, the only thing I'm currently in is just this GJPY that I've been riding. And I'm just going to continue to ride this GJPY. If I can get into this GJ sell as well, if it can happen, it happens, right? 166.900 is where I'm going to be selling from. So we'll see how that goes. Right, but without further ado, I appreciate you. I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me today. And I'll see you guys all in the morning with the team, with the gang. And you guys know how we're coming. We're going to provide you guys with massive value as well. All right, so family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Make sure to take advantage of the bootcamp. All right, get 50% off the bootcamp, ProTrader Bootcamp.com. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning. Let's get it, y'all. Have a good one. Let's go.